Hi there, internet, YouTube, Tumblr, wherever I end up posting this. My name's Lee, and I just wanted to take a moment at the beginning of this video to introduce myself, since this is the first real video of my face talking about things that I've ever posted on the internet. As some of you may know, especially those of you who've been following me on Tumblr, I've been doing a project where I read the travesty of a book trilogy that is 50 Shades of Grey. And I'm through the first one, I've started on the second one, and I've just found myself losing steam because this book series sucks. Like, that's putting it mildly. It's just so much work for me to go through and force myself to read all of that shit and then go back and write about it when all I want to do is kill something. So I'm hoping that by doing videos that'll be a little bit less work for me, and I'll start actually participating in this thing that I set for myself again. Anyway, I will be posting links down there in the description to all of my written up rants about book 1 and the first 6 chapters of book 2. I'm going to be just sitting here reading this thing while the camera rolls, and when I come to a part that I want to talk about, I will either read it to you or I'll describe it to you, and then I will talk about it for a while. So here we begin. Chapter 7 of The Ridiculousness. You know, I will never cease to marvel at the ability of this author to whip back and forth between two moods so completely in such a short amount of writing. We started this chapter with them at this masquerade blah 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 auction for charity, and Anna has just bought herself one of the prizes from the auction, and typically Christian is just completely pissed because even though he insists on spending all kinds of money on her and buying her things that she doesn't even want, and she tries to refuse, but he doesn't let her refuse because you've seen my rants about it. Even though he spends all this money on her, the second she steps up and buys something for herself, he gets completely pissed. So the first few paragraphs of this chapter, he's just completely, you can tell that he's so angry. But then you get halfway down this first page and suddenly he's being all seductive. Suddenly she's all oh my god, I want him so bad. If you want Christian to be scary and angry for a scene, he can be scary and angry for a scene. Don't make him be angry for 2 paragraphs and then suddenly he's seducing Anna. It's just bad writing. Oh my god. I succumb to a cathartic bubble of schoolgirl giggles as we are thwarted once more by the tall, pink powerhouse that is Mia Gray. Are all romance novels written this terribly, or is it just this one? Another mention of the fact that because Christian is kinky, he's never had a proper girlfriend before in his entire fucking life. Because obviously no one that's interested in kink wants anything more than a hired sub to do things with. And I mean, I know that some people like that kind of relationship, and I'm not trying to diss that or anything or say that there's anything wrong with that, because there's not. It's just implied that because Christian is a dom, he doesn't want anything out of a relationship other than just a sub that he can order around. Also, the fact that Anna is such a fucking Mary Sue that the second she comes along, he's totally okay with actually dating her and actually having a proper girlfriend because she's oh so special and she's changed him. And why are you arguing with yourself, Anna? It's really badly written and it's annoying. What's happening right now is part of the auction is there's these 12 women, including Anna, of course, who have agreed to auction off their first dance at this event. and the MC is like, "Now, gentlemen, pray gather round and take a good look at what could be yours for the first dance. 12 comely and compliant wenches." Yeah, I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute. Even Anna realizes how humiliating and objectifying that is, because she thinks, geez, I feel like I'm in a meat market. Yeah, I would too if there was a strange guy that I don't know talking about me like that. Maybe I should have a separate highlighter color for apparently E.L. James is incapable of writing any male character who's not a misogynist. That might actually be a good idea for the next book, I don't know. Also the fact that E.L. James is incapable of describing Christian moving without making some sort of allusion to the way he moves with easy grace, or that he is lithe and graceful. Yes, we know, you've said it a billion times, you don't have to describe something every fucking time you mention that character. It gets really repetitive and annoying, and it's bad writing, and I really would like to fire your editor. Oh my god, E.L. James, did no one ever tell you that it's not a good joke if you have to explain it? Going once, going twice, sold, the MC declares loudly to the gentleman in the mask. And of course, all the men are wearing masks, so there are hoots of laughter, applause, and cheering. So Mia, who is of course Christian's sister, leans over to Anna and is like, "I hope Christian wins you, though. We don't want to brawl." And apparently Mia was completely serious. She's like, "Oh yes, he was very hot-headed when he was younger." And then she shudders. Like, seriously? If you are actually going to start a physical fight if someone outbids you to dance with your girlfriend once for a fucking charity ball, you have fucking anger management issues, dude. You need help. But then Anna goes on like, "Christian? Brawling? Refined, sophisticated, likes two-door choral music Christian? I can't see it." Really? You can't? Really? Open up your fucking eyes, girl! Run! Here we go, delving into more of Christian's troubled past, because of course if you're into kinky sex, you have to have a troubled past, otherwise that kind of crazy shit would never, ever appeal to you. Ever. And now, allow me to introduce the beautiful Anna. Oh shit, that's me! Yeah, it is. Oh, and then of course we have the arbitrary girl who is crushing on Christian and thus hates Anna at the masquerade. Her name is Lily. Just because I guess you have to have some girl hate in any given chapter. I don't know. Mr. Mysterious. Yeah, Anna has to give everyone stupid names. Like, she actually calls Christian 50 or 50 Shades at multiple points, like, throughout these books, and could this be any more embarrassing? I just sometimes feel the need to quote sentences out of this book in a really stupid voice. And now they're gonna go have sex. I'm guessing. "He leads me up to the second floor and up another flight of stairs to the third." Yeah, that's usually what happens. Oh, and he waltzes over to her, slowly. Waltzes. Oh my god, okay. Blah blah blah, and I'm helpless, trussed up and pressed into the mattress, at his mercy, and of my own free will. Finally, have something that actually sounds like a sub who wants to be dominated and who is enjoying being dominated, and this is what kink should be like all the time. It only took like 600 fucking pages. I mean, come on. And as quickly as the little good moment comes, it's gone because he's just spanked her and fucked her, and now he doesn't even mention aftercare, which, may I add, is extremely important. Like, even if she doesn't want it, he at least needed to have asked. Oh my fucking fucking god. So when Anna was being auctioned off for her first dance, there was only one other guy bidding against Christian, of course, and it's this whole, like, inside joke between him and Christian the whole time, because, like, it's obvious that Christian knows him, and they're just kind of, like, grinning at each other, and they're like, heh, we're bidding against each other, heh. And so Anna and Christian just had their first dance and blah blah blah, and now the other guy walks over, and it's his fucking therapist. Like, I don't even know what to make of this. Like, I don't know if I should be creeped out or just keep laughing as hysterically as I have been. Oh my god, now his therapist is making jokes about how fucked up Christian is and how it'll take until Christmas to list all of his issues, I guess. Professional, dude. Real professional. I don't remember if I explained this to you guys in any of my, like, written rants, but so one of the things we know about Christian is that his first relationship was with this woman who Anna refers to as Mrs. Robinson. So he's, like, young, and she's a lot older, and she's the one who got him into kink and BDSM, and he actually started out as her sub. And so ever since Anna learned that, she has been thinking of Mrs. Robinson not only as an ex to be despised, but she also thinks of Mrs. Robinson as a child molester because he was a young teenager or whatever who was in a kinky relationship. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, teenagers shouldn't have sex, and they really shouldn't have kinky sex because they're not old enough to understand kink and blah blah blah. And having been a high schooler myself very recently, I know that a lot of teenagers, high school age kids, are mature enough to understand kink and be able to enter into a kinky relationship fully consensually and fully informed, and just because you're an older woman being in a kinky relationship with a younger dude does not make you a fucking child molester. Mrs. Robinson is at this masquerade right now, and she has just come up to Anna and wants to talk to her, and I can only imagine the shitstorm that's about to go down. So there's that. And once again, Anna, your stupidity knows no bounds. This far into the second book, and you still don't believe that Christian loves you. Like, seriously, he's told you so many times, he's showed you multiple other times. I mean, whatever else he may be, he fucking loves you so much. As much as I hate to be defending anything positive about this guy, like, I can't deny it because it's too much a part of the canon that he is head over fucking heels for Anna. I mean, he has really fucked up ways of showing it, but I don't know, I don't understand this chick. I don't understand how she doesn't get it yet. He won't tell you because he probably doesn't realize it himself. Of course he realizes it. He's said it to you. I distinctly remember him saying this to you on multiple occasions because you were like, oh, you don't love me, blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, actually I do. This is another thing I hate about E.L. James's writing, is that she just goes over the same situation over and over again. I mean, here Anna's like, I'm reeling. Christian loves me? And it's like, we've done this like multiple times before in this series. It gets old so fast. Like, fucking move on. Ew. Okay. Ew. Now they're equating possessiveness and controllingness with love, and that's really gross, and Okay, I was just given the first valid reason to hate Mrs. Robinson because she's like, what I wanted to say is that if you hurt him again, I will find you, lady, and it won't be pleasant when I do. And it's obvious here that what she's referring to is Anna leaving Christian at the end of the last book, which is fucking bullshit because she's like, basically like, don't ever fucking leave him again, which just the more I think about it, it's just like, okay, first of all, you're taking away all of Anna's autonomy because you're like, you can't leave him because I won't let you leave him. Which is just fucked up in and of itself because that is her fucking choice, and if she wants to fucking leave her abusive douche nozzle of a boyfriend, you should be encouraging her to do that. Second of all, the fact that it is an abusive relationship and she is so scared of him that it would be difficult for her to leave him anyway, even if she didn't have as strong feelings for him as she does. Like, the fact that you're adding another threat over her head, now you're trapped in from two sides into this relationship, and I'm speechless. Well, good for you, Anna. She just stood up to Mrs. Robinson, and I'm glad. Kudos, Anna. There may be hope for you now. Christian is on the phone with Mrs. Robinson, trying to, like, get her to leave Anna alone, which is fine, but then he's describing his relationship with Anna as the first regular relationship I've ever had, and I really have a problem with the use of the word regular here because it is othering of kinky relationships. It's saying that vanilla relationships are the norm and kinky relationships are abnormal or weird or whatever, which, I mean, I don't know the stats, maybe vanilla relationships are, like, statistically more common, but still, like, it's not like they're the standard be-all, end-all of normal, and, you know, anyone in a BDSM or kinky relationship is some weird outsider. You know how everyone says always use 2 methods of birth control and one of them is always condoms? Yeah, apparently that doesn't exist in this universe, because there's this whole big thing about how Christian hates condoms and he hates having to use them and meh. So in the first book he gets Anna to start taking birth control, but then of course the second she breaks up with him at the end of the first book, she stops taking her birth control. I'm not on birth control, so I don't really know this from personal experience or anything, but like, doesn't that affect your hormones, and wouldn't that, like, affect your mood and whatnot? And, like, isn't that a really bad idea to just suddenly stop taking it? He's like, oh yeah, I hired a gynecologist to get you back on birth control. And she's like, why? He's like, because I hate condoms. When she's like, it's my body, and she's understandably annoyed that he hasn't asked her. She kind of protests a little, and his response is, it's mine too. I've said this over and over again, and I'm just gonna keep saying it because it annoys the shit out of me. Even if she is your sub, Christian, she still retains bodily autonomy. She does not actually belong to you. She belongs to herself and no one else. Therefore, unless it's like part of your agreement that you can just schedule doctor visits for her and have that much influence over what medicine she's taking, you can't do shit like that without asking her. And since you guys haven't really discussed new boundaries of becoming dom and sub again, let alone what kind of medical decisions or what kind of other decisions he's allowed to make for you, not fucking okay to be like, oh, by the way, you're going back on birth control and I don't have to ask you about it because your body belongs to me. Newsflash, dumbass, it doesn't. And now suddenly Miss Robinson is being all friendly and wants to do lunch. Yeah, if anyone ever talked to me like that, I'd be like, fuck you, you're out of luck. You can't just come into my life and fucking threaten me and then try and make nice. While they were away, apparently someone slashed Anna's tires and threw paint on her car. Of course you know that it's Layla, who is the ex, who she could use some psychiatric care. And now they're concerned that she might be in the apartment. And Kristen is like, no, I can't just stand here and wait while my security guards check out the apartment. I have to go in. But Anna, you have to stay here. And Anna's like, no, Christian, don't do it. And he like totally dismisses her and is like, do as you're told. Stay here. Then he goes into the apartment and Anna's like, shit, my boyfriend might be in trouble. And that's where the chapter ends. Anyway, glad that's over. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know, I guess feel free to leave me feedback or discuss things with me in the comments or on Tumblr or whatever, or I don't know if you just want to say hi. I don't know how these things work. See you next time.